water filters with Julie. We have a whole home filter. Hillary has a kitchen filter from Julian and Connecticut. Nature's the place we like to go with our kids. And, it's a fun, especially this time of year. You go for a bike ride and you stop there and get a juice or an acai bowl, which is like a smoothie in a bowl, which is really fun too. So we love to support those businesses. How did your last week go? Started with the detox. You're continuing with your detox checklist. Is it going pretty good overall? If it's not, or you find yourself having hiccups, talk to your, the people in your group and talk to your team leader, because their job is supposed to be a support system for you as you have ups and downs with that. So today we're going to jump right in. So spring cleaning, we talked about, we said in critical and baffling situations, it's always best to return to first principle and simple action. So we always want to come back to principle. Principles never change. There's never a time where gravity, I drop this clicker and then all of a sudden it goes up. Not on planet Earth. Gravity is a principle and it's going to be consistent. And there are principles of health. And if we honor those principles, regardless of what diet fads or what government agencies or what people tell you, you're going to find that these principles always stay true through this stuff. So for example, in the chiropractic world, most offices that are principled are consistently teaching how the body is made and designed to heal. And so we get through a lot of flu seasons where we just see people stay healthy. Why? We honor the body's design, right? And so when the next sickness, the H1N1, the swine flu, the bird flu, the avian flu, the COVID, when the next crazy thing comes up that's going to kill everybody, we sit there and say, hey, your body's made intelligent. You have this awesome immune system. Let's honor it. And the more we honor it, the better you're going to do. And I promise you, you're going to forget about some of this stuff. And the only crazy part about COVID is that it hasn't gone away, and that's not because of how deadly it is. That's because of how political it is. And I think you guys all know that, right? It's but all the other ones, like H1N1, the next year people are like, oh, really? That's a thing? And everyone forgets, right? Because they didn't hang on to it politically. But if we continue to focus on principles, you can get through a lot of seasons of life and health. And so we want to keep teaching principles. That's going to help you more than anything that I can do. And that's why, even with these apps, it's fun to have an app and know this is a good product, this is a bad product. But these are going to change because the company's going to make a healthy version. They're going to say, hey, we're going to make a healthy version of our product to market to those granola type people, right? Those really crunchy thinkers. And then once we get them using our product, we'll just make it cheaper, right? And so you have to keep monitoring your products because they can change. They do that with toothpaste, they do that with laundry detergents, they do that with deodorants. So you got to keep checking your stuff over time to make sure, is this still good? And for the team and I, that was good for us too, to be like, hey, I got into using these things. I haven't checked them for a while. How is this going? So just staying with the principle, not with the product. A new quote I want to introduce to you today is this. You unlock life-changing potential when you review. Say review. Review. When you review a habit or understanding. Here's what I want you to see with that. So you unlock life-changing potential when you review a habit or understanding. Learning something is one thing. That's wonderful. Applying something is wonderful too. That's even better. But coming back to it and reviewing it and refocusing on it and reapplying it, that's where life change really takes place. And so when you review things, you see it differently. And you learn from what you already know. And you learn from your experiences. You just mature in your understanding of that idea or that principle. And so when you re-see it, you can digest it better and you can implement it more, which leads to better long-term success. So there's power and there's life-changing potential when you review. And when you re-see it and you see it differently, you see or you view why you're doing it. Okay, what's the why behind this? Why do I get adjusted? Why do I eat this way and not eat this way? Why do I use this product and not this product? Because it's easy to forget. So we want to see it again. We want to view it again. We want to see how we're doing. How accurately am I at doing this life change or this living this principle? Because sometimes you get in a good rhythm and then life happens and you're not in a good rhythm, right? You all know what I'm talking about? So we have to review it and re-see it and see how am I doing? And then we have to go back to what am I hoping for? Is what I'm doing actually what I'm hoping for? Or when I look at this habit or this principle again, is there a different direction or a deeper direction that I want to go with? When we review, we go deeper. And then lastly, we say, when am I doing this? I used to be in a habit where I would exercise at this time, or I would eat healthy at this time, or meal plan at this time, or pray at this time. When is this happening? Is that time still a good time? Is there a better time? Is that working? Is it not working? When we review, we understand better. So you unlock this life-changing potential when you review or re-see a habit or understanding. Does that make sense? That's just, to me, it's like that is a game changer in my life. We teach a lot of these things. I like to learn a lot of principles and a lot of thoughts, but really where change happens is when I keep re-digesting it and re-seeing it. Okay, so that's why we're going back through some of this stuff. We want you to review it. So the principle is God designed your body to heal, right? And there's an innate potential to be well. Say innate.
Innate.
And we talked about that your body, for you to heal from a cut or a bruise or a bloody nose, your body was made smart and made intelligent. And just the fact that you can heal is a gift from God. And so we said the body needs no help healing, it just needs no interference, right? Interference doesn't allow the body to work or operate the way that it's supposed to. The first week we said stop adding the toxins. The second week we talked about removing it, and this week we're going to focus on keeping it clean, because we want to live differently than normal society. We want to exit this conventional thought process when it comes to health and toxicity. We talked about over 2 million chemicals a person can be exposed to in a single day, which doesn't even seem realistic, but it's the real deal. They come from food, water, environment, cosmetics, cleaners, containers, and that's where you got your detox checklist to walk through all of it. That's where you got your app to say, how do I assess this? How do I look at this differently? How do I have a different perspective, right? Y'all with me on this? Good to review. We talked about toxic load and how that just fills up your bucket. Your body can only handle so much. And that's where we started with this demonstration. We started with the cups, whether it be food, medications, mindset, vaccines, laundry detergents, deodorants, facial cleaners, whatever it is that you use, it can add to your toxic load. And we want to decrease that. And then we shared the analogy of Lake Erie, the Dead Sea of the North, where if we just stop adding chemicals, the lake will heal. It will regenerate and replenish. And the same thing is true of our body. If we just stop adding the problem, if we stop interfering, your body's made to heal innately because God designed you right. And your normal is healthy. That's natural for all of us is healthy. Okay? And then going back to it, we unlock these life-changing potential. You unlock the life-changing potential when you review a habit or understand, right? So now week 2, we said remove it. So if your body is full of these chemicals, how do we get it out of it? Because you are designed to remove toxins, just not at the level that we're exposed to. We were not designed to be exposed to chemicals at this level. I was just listening to this PhD that was studying about phthalates. She's done 20 years of research on phthalates, which we talked about in a lot of our plastics. And she's talking about just about reproductive health, how it's decreased fertility, decreased sperm count, and decreased the ability of a woman to get pregnant. And she said for the most part right now, it's about 1% a year that our fertility rates are declining because of mainly because of the hormonal effect or the disruption that happens from just a lot of these chemicals and these phthalates that are in so many of our plastics. And usually it's our flexible ones and it's the ones that are heated up. Just amazing, 20 years of research, and her main focus is just like basically sperm count and babies. How are we doing? And it's just not going well because of the overload. So we got to get it out, okay? And so when we talk about where's the fat stored, it's stored in a lot of our fat cells and our adipose tissue. That's where it tends to be stored. And so we've got to get it out. We have detox organs that help us do it: the colon, the kidneys, the lungs, the lymphatic system, skin, liver, and then your nervous system coordinates all that. So your mindset has to be strong, because if you're stressed or negative all the time, you're not healing. And then again, we went back to the bucket analogy, and then we talked to the daily detox and how that supports your liver, the phases of your liver to remove chemicals. And you all started your detox, which is great. Keep after that. That's a good thing, I think, to do a few times a year. I don't necessarily think it's a good thing to do every single day, but a couple of times a year, it's a really good way to just take a big scoop out of, or really just to pour out a good chunk of your bucket. Okay. Then we talked about the nervous system, and just like a budding leaf, your nervous system develops like a tree. You have the roots, the trunk, the branches, and then the leaves. It's the brain, the spinal cord, the nerves, and then eventually blossoms the organs: the heart, the lungs, the liver, the colon. That's how your body is designed, the lymphatic system, all of it. So the better the nervous system is, the better we do. The myth that most people are taught, remember this? Does this all look familiar? Right? Does it help to review it? Like, oh yeah, we talked about that. They say a lot of people, they only remember so much of what you say, but when you review it, you remember more. If I just do this detox, if I just do this workout, if I just do this nutrition program, if I just do this one thing, this one time, then I'm good. That's a lie. That's not true. That can help you, but it's not going to. I'm not good for the rest of my life. If I just exercise this week, I'm done. No more exercising. Right? You guys all know that's crazy. If I just eat a salad for the rest of the week, no more vegetables the rest of my life. You guys all know that's crazy, right? The same thing is true with toxicity. If I just do this one detox, I'm good for the rest of my life. Not true. The truth is your lifestyle is what keeps your toxicity levels low. And the best thing you can do is focus on a healthy lifestyle to detox. And that's really what we want to see. If you can apply these principles and make it a lifestyle, you're going to live longer, you're going to live better, you're going to live happier. That's really what we want. That's what I want for me, that's what I want for my family, and that's what I hope for you. part of that takes a lot of personal accountability. So it's nice to review. It's nice to have somebody rechecking. What are your scores? Are they going down? How are you doing? Kick you in the butt. Answer your questions. Whatever you need, right? Sometimes we need that coach that's going to get on our tail. Sometimes we need a cheerleader that's going to rah rah rah. And sometimes we just need somebody that's going to listen. Right? So at different times we need different things. But just what you need, just lean on the team because we want to support you through all of this. Right? You unlock life-changing potential when you review a habit or understanding. And week 3, we want to say, how do we keep it clean? And so it's a simple formula. A plus B equals C. Okay? How many toxins are going in? How many toxins are going out? Equals your body. Right? This formula is your lifestyle. How much am I absorbing? How much am I removing? How healthy am I going to be? You all with me on that? So it seems very simple, but I want to go back to our bucket analogy, Chad. We'll see how this plays out. So when we fill our bucket, I've got more holes in it this time. When we fill our bucket, now we've got our lifestyle, right? Our lifestyle is adding chemicals, and our lifestyle is removing chemicals. And it's just, if we can keep this level low, keep it from overflowing, you're going to live a long, healthy, happy life. You're much less likely to have major diseases like autoimmune and cancers. You're less likely to have inflammatory issues, and you're just going to enjoy life that much more. I didn't know if this would shoot outside or not. So
I was waiting.
So a couple things that we really want to pay attention to. What's your score? When we did our scores, are you lowering your score from a 15 or 18 or getting it down to 12, 10, 9? Are you working at that? And then what's our habit? Are we doing things to support the liver to detox? Or are we doing those things to keep it clean? And that's what we're going to focus on today, is the lifestyle and the habits. So we'll just let that thing run. What you're going to get today is what we call the 7 steps to lifestyle detoxification. What are the things that we want to be paying attention to make sure you're removing toxins on a regular basis? And so one of them is go to the bathroom. How often do you urinate? How often do you pee? And when you urinate, is it a dark yellow or is it more of a light or a clear? Because if you're getting enough water, it's going to be clear and it's going to be light. I didn't really think this through. So it's like Austin Powers. You got evacuation. So how much are you urinating, right? And then the next thing is your bowel movements. How often do you go to the bathroom? You should at least be having 1 bowel movement a day. Ideally, it's 1 to 3 a day. If it's like a couple of times a week, that's not great. Okay, so that's the sign we need to continue to work on that colon health and get those things out. And the fiber and the foods that you eat and the water that you drink plays a big part in how often you poop. And so that's a big deal. So how often are you having a bowel movement? Then from there, it's the heat. So heat is like, if you're in a sauna, that heat helps you to detox. If you're exercising and you're getting your body temperature up or you're sweating, that helps you to detox. There's a major detox benefit to having heat. That's why a fever is so good too. Breathing, you're excreting toxins with your air and your breath. The chatterbox, which is the mindset there. There's a book called Crash the Chatterbox, and this Pastor Furtick talks about just your mindset. What are you listening to on a regular basis? If you're constantly hearing the devil just speak doubt into your mind, that's a toxic way to live. Oh, if you were good enough, you could pull this off. If you were just trying harder, if you weren't such a screw up, if you weren't right. What did the devil say to Jesus? He's like, oh, if you are the Son of God, jump, right? If you are, he's just trying to, the doubt is the worst part of the whole story, is that he's just casting doubt when Jesus is tempted, right? And the chatterbox is just saying, well, if you were good enough, you'd be able to pull this off. If you, right? And so are you listening to that chatterbox? Or are you speaking truth into your life? And for so many of us, our self-talk is the worst talk we get in the middle during the day. And so creating rhythms and habits to help yourself. And some of that is good relationships and healthy people. That it's really, what are you feeding? So I was reading a book and it talks about GIGO. It's like GIGO. It's either garbage in, garbage out, or it's good in, good out. What are you feeding your mind? And what you read, what you think about, how you pray, how you communicate, what you say about yourself is all important. So we want to call out the bad belief systems, the BS. And so this idea of, well, I can't do it. It's like, no, I haven't figured it out yet. You know, when my kids, when they're learning to ride a bike and they fall over, like, oh, this is too hard, I can't do it. It's like, no, you just need a little bit more practice, right? There's never a doubt in my mind that they can't pull it off. They just need a little bit more time. But this idea that you're going to walk into health and you're going to be a perfect cook, and you're going to be perfect at living toxicity, keeping your toxicity levels low, or you're going to be perfect at mindset. Nobody's perfect early on, but these are hard habits to learn, so it takes time and repetition, so we need to keep reviewing them. Okay, so chatterbox is really important. I think the best rhythm I have is my home care, how I communicate to myself about my life when I do my home care. The things I tell myself, praying for my wife when I'm doing the traction, praying for my family and the team, thanking God for just different areas of my life when I'm doing the movements. That helps me have a consistent, positive thought process throughout the day. Because otherwise it becomes this good idea that never happens. Right? So pair it with something you already do. And when you brush your teeth, what are you telling yourself? Just pick a habit that you think will work for you, but you've got to crash the chatterbox. You've got to break that up. Sleep, your nervous system works most efficiently when you sleep at night, so we've got to be getting good sleep. The hours before midnight are most important. So sleeping from 9 to 5, you're much more rested than if you sleep from midnight to 8. Same hours, but the hours before midnight are that much more important. Okay? So your sleep is really important. And then lastly, movement. We talked about the lymphatic system, which helps your body to cleanse toxicity and pick up all the excess fluids. It only works through movement. So if you're not moving, you're not using your lymphatic system. The vibration plate actually does help your lymphatic system. The best thing you can do is movement. Okay, so those things are all very powerful. So you're going to get this in a handout form where you can just hang it up somewhere where you can see it. But what we want to do is focus on these lifestyle habits, making this a part of your day. Now, I can make it for you and give it to you, but here's what we found. That doesn't work. You're not going to use it. You know why? You have no skin in the game. You guys want to hear just this weird little thing about The Office? I've never had somebody start at The Office, have their parents pay for care, and have them stay here. You know that? Even if it's been somebody, I had a guy that came in here, started her care using a walker. I remember the first time he got adjusted, I had to help him go out in the parking lot, lift his leg into the car, and help him into the car for his first adjustment. Within the first 2 weeks, he was walking on his own and he was only 26 at the time, doing phenomenal, right? No longer under care. Why? He had no skin in the game. His mom was paying for it. Isn't that interesting? And the person that commits and puts some skin in the game, they're more committed. So if I just make all of the plans for you, you're not going to commit to it the same way as if you make it yourself. And so part of what we're going to do today in our small groups is we're going to be talking through these lifestyle habits and these detox pathways and what are the rhythms that you want for your life. And so you're going to be able to make those for yourself. Okay? And it's going to be so much more meaningful for you. So we're going to be able to apply what we're learning here today. So here's a quote: "Show me your habits and I will show you your future." Somebody says, "I want to have good health in 20 years. Okay, what are you doing now? I'll tell you if you're going to make it or not. Okay? I have one patient. "I want to do 20 pull-ups 20 years from now." I said, "How many can you do now?" I said, 5. I said, "What makes you think you're going to be able to do 20 years from now?" Right? Show me your habit, I'll show you your future. Our lives change when our habits change. That's one of my favorite quotes. And then lastly, the best way to learn is the powerful force of rhythm. Rhythm and routine. Just really cool stuff. You unlock life-changing potential when you review a habit or understanding. And that's really what we want to focus on today. So when we meet in our small groups, we're going to go through this 7-step lifestyle detox. We're going to walk through that, and we're going to create our own habits and rhythms. What are you doing throughout each week, month, quarter, year? So, for example, something I might do with like the detox, I might say I want to do that every year, right? But there might be something where sweating and exercising, I want to do that every week. Right? So you're going to create your rhythms and your routines. You're going to get a detox foods handout, which are some of the best foods to help your body detox. You're going to have access to. We just want you to have that. When we get in our small groups, we're going to follow up in the last week and even the last 2 weeks if we need to. We're going to go through any questions on this week and what you're learning and how we're implementing. We're going to go through the resources that you get, and then we're going to create our own habit plan for our own rhythms. Does that sound good? It's pretty cool, right? You guys can do it. And you can do it. And so the goal is we want to continue to learn these principles, review them, and implement them well. So anything that I missed there, Amanda, how are we doing? Did we lose Hillary?
What?
Did we lose Hillary?
Just for a few minutes, but
Okay.
yes.
So what we're going to do is this then. If you want to stop the computer, that'd be great. We're going to break up into our groups, and we're going to take some time to go through everything. And so you all know where you're meeting?
Yep.